Hi everyone. This is a more serious video. It has to do with social media and also kind of an update on my health too, because I haven't talked about that for a while. And also letting you know that tomorrow, Sunday, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel, I'm going to do a live chat. And I think Glenn Kellaway from the basement is going to join me. So the link should be here if you want to click on it to be notified. First, about social media. Having a YouTube channel is fun. I enjoy it. I love it. I love interacting with my viewers. You know, they leave me comments and I always try my best to heart them. Sometimes I do respond, but because of health issues, chronic pain, my hands and everything, it's hard to do a lot of typing and everything. But, you know, I will respond. You know, if somebody asks a good question, I'm going to respond. But, so there's good and bad about social media. As some of you know, I've got a girlfriend, Molly. And she's been in quite a few of my videos, and I know my viewers really appreciate seeing her, and you'll see more of her. And on social media, you know, like Facebook, for instance, when she's here and we do a video together, people love her, right? And after I post the video, within the day, Molly is usually getting a message or two, mainly from guys. I think all from guys. And she's a very private person, much more private than I am, you know, with my life. And she, you know, if it's like, this is what kind of gets me too, is you might think you know her or me, but we don't know you, right? Most of you. I'm not talking about, you know, we do have friends, Glenn Kellaway from the basement, Robert's on my turntable, not talking about people we actually know. So, you know, and this has happened many times throughout the years. She'll get, and it's not all on YouTube, it's Instagram or whatever, and hey baby, what are you doing? I never get those messages. And so I'm just asking my viewers that know Molly and me, you know, please respect, you know, there's boundaries or whatever. And we're not implying that we're some big stars or anything. We're just regular people on YouTube making videos. And we're not snobs. We're very friendly. Like if we meet anybody in person, and we've met quite a few people in person locally, we're friendly. We'll say hello. Well, you know, whatever. But it's just, and it happens with me too on Facebook, especially. I'll get people messaging me all the time, and you know, dealing with my chronic pain, I try not let it get to me, but it does. And I don't think people realize what chronic pain is like unless they have it. It's not fun. It's like having a constant pain all the time. You don't have good days or bad days. It's, you know, pretty even day by day, at least for me, for the last 3 years or so. I'm in pain here, my neck, my shoulders, and in the past year, it's kind of gone through my whole body. My legs are kind of painful. I just went to my family doctor this morning for a couple of issues. And one of them is I've had this this pressure in my hands for over 20 years, and no doctor's ever dealt with it. I've tried to get help, and at the moment my doctor is looking into maybe me seeing another neurologist about it, because it's in my feet now too. It went into my feet, the same pressure a couple of years ago, so that, I don't notice it as much, but when I'm in bed at night, being still, you can really feel the pressure, and it's not fun. So that's why I don't like to type too much. So just anybody, that messages me on Facebook, I'm going to respond. Like if, or at least say thank you or whatever, if it's, thanking me for my high quality entertainment. But I just can't, banter back and forth, but with messages all the time because of what I'm dealing with. But just know that, there has been quite a few times where somebody will message me and I'll respond. And sometimes I'll even tell them, I can't type too much, but they'll keep writing to me. And then I just finally have to ignore it. And so I do apologize to anybody out there who thinks I'm a snob or whatever and I'm not responding back. But it's because of my mental health and my physical health that I just can't. And I just have to say that, the past year or two has been really rough for me mentally, especially losing my 2 cats, because they were like, they were like children to me, because I took care of them every single day, feeding them, changing their litter box, and and now they're both gone. So I've had to deal with a lot of sadness. I'm not going to say, I think depression is kind of used a bit too much. I don't know if I've been depressed. I've just been sad, right? But doing YouTube and Patreon lifts me up. I don't force myself to do anything. I enjoy doing these YouTube videos. Editing sometimes is also, a pain for me with my issues, but I love doing it. So, and I thank everybody that watches and leaves comments and everything. And the reason I thought I would talk about this social media stuff now is because once again last night, I'm talking to Molly on the phone, and I guess one of my Facebook friends, I don't really, I've got a lot of Facebook friends, some I don't know. They know me, but I don't really know them. And I guess this person messaged Molly. He's a Facebook friend of Molly's too, but she doesn't know him. And he just simply wrote, "How's Larry?" Right? And she didn't respond because, like I said, she's a private person. And it's not up to her to tell him how I am. Plus, I think, just watch my videos every day. I'm alive at the moment. And, I'm doing okay. Dealing with things, but everybody deals with, stresses and aches and pains. So I'm just asking, I'm not trying to embarrass anybody that has sent messages to Molly or me and thinking I'm upset with them. I'm not with you. We're not upset with you, but just, respect us and know that we're both kind of private people, especially Molly, and I can't respond back a lot. But, with, like I said, with friends, Glenn and Robert and Alex from Beer and Vinyl, we message once in a while about, doing videos together or whatever, and so that's different, right? So I do quite a bit of typing, but it's for people that I actually know. And it kind of also reminds me of a few years back, Burden Cummings, who was the singer for the Guess Who. I saw him in concert about 10 years ago, and it was excellent. And at the time, you could message him on Facebook. And so I did. I sent him a message saying, whatever about the concert. I really enjoyed it. And he responded back, which really seriously surprised me. And he left a short message back. But I knew even back then, we're not going to be friends. I'm not going to be responding back and forth with Burden. He's busy. He doesn't know me. He responded, thank you, right? And I never wrote back to him again. But I guess even if he didn't respond back, I'm not going to put him down and say, oh, he's rude. He won't respond to my message. He doesn't know me. And I see this, on social media again. I know that, Sparks, Ron and Russell Mael, they're known for being pretty private people. And what I see on Facebook with people being really nosy about their private life, right? It's like, I understand why they're so private, right? And if you do want to talk to me, I do live chats once in a while. Ask me a question on the live chat, or say what you want to say on the live chat. And that's how, I like to communicate with my viewers, for the most part, along with comments. And, I also want to apologize, maybe once in a while I'm in a grumpy mood because of my pain and something might tick me off and I'll, I'm never nasty with anybody, but, there's times I might be a little negative and people aren't going to like that. But, some comments always, annoy me, just like they would you. I had a recent comment about, it was a video on Paul McCartney, and of course it's one of these people that thinks that Paul died years ago and was replaced. And so it's just, annoying to deal with these idiots. Yeah, so I'm just trying to let you know that Molly and I are nice people, very nice people, and we're not snobs. So please don't, take things the wrong way if we don't respond to you and we ignore your message. But like I said, I will respond with a thank you or, try and write a sentence or two for, depending. The other thing, going back to my health, the other thing I've been struggling with probably since Middens passed away, actually, is sleep. There's many times I get maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And yes, I've tried melatonin, sleep cycle, and when I saw my family doctor today, he gave me this to try out. I don't want to, when I have trouble sleeping, once in a blue moon I'll take a sleeping pill, but that's not good to, be taking too often. And probably this isn't either, but I need sleep, right? So I'm going to try this. It's there. He says it's kind of expensive, and it's not like I want to take it every night, but I definitely want to try it out for 2 or 3 nights and see how it is. So if anybody has ever tried this, let me know. And there's always going to be people out there, Larry, don't do this, don't do that, or Larry, you got to do this, you got to do that. And when it comes to, especially with the chronic pain, I've tried everything, Right now I'm just taking Tylenol 1s, and then after 3 hours I'll take a Advil, like an extra strength Advil. But I've tried other, I've been on prescriptions and nothing's ever worked for me, and it's been frustrating. But hopefully, I'll get another appointment with a neurologist soon. And, I'm not looking for pity. Like I've said before, I feel sorry enough for myself. I don't need you to feel sorry for me. And there's other people out there struggling too, not just me, with health issues or mental health issues. But like I said, I love doing YouTube. as you can probably tell, and connecting with people and talking about music and doing silly comedy videos and doing shorts. But just know, that, like I said, I'm in pain all the time. And maybe people don't realize that, but it's part of my life, and it sucks. And yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for the supports. And like I said, social media, there's good and bad with everything in life, right? And social media is good too. A couple of years ago, when I lost monetization on this channel, people really did help me out with sending me money, which I was not expecting. It also made me realize, that supposed friends online aren't really your friends. When they're doing things like that, it's like, yeah, they're really friends, helping somebody out in a time of need. Even if I don't know them, they know me. And this is a depressing video, isn't it? No. No, I just wanted to, I had been thinking about doing this kind of video, talking about social media and, an update, but I finally did it. So that's it. I hope some of you can join my live chat tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for all of your support. Goodbye. It's a real smile, even though I'm in pain.